Texans fans, we have a massive situation developing at camp that you absolutely need to hear about. Our explosive playmaker is finally showing progress after that brutal injury, and seeing him back on the grass is nothing short of incredible. But while everyone is dreaming of a massive comeback, we need to talk about the reality of his return and what it really means for our offense this year. Is it time to manage our expectations, or is he ready to reclaim his spot? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below before we dive into the full report. The narrative surrounding wide receiver Tank Dell and his path back to the field remains the most significant storyline for the Houston Texans throughout this current 2026 offseason. After suffering a devastating multi-ligament knee injury back in December 2024, the progress Tank Dell is making during organized team activities and minicamp serves as a vital indicator of his recovery status. While he is not yet a full participant in team drills, he's been seen working off to the side, executing wide receiver routes, and running, signaling that he is trending in the right direction ahead of training camp next month. It is a slow, methodical process for the receiver who has been sidelined for over a year. But his ability to engage in these limited reps alongside teammates like Nico Collins is the first tangible step toward his goal of returning for the upcoming season. For CJ Stroud and the entire Houston offensive unit, seeing Tank Dell back on the field is a welcomed sight, as his previous impact in the passing game remains fresh in the minds of the organization. The goal for now is simply to manage expectations, recognizing that the journey from a catastrophic injury involving a torn ACL, MCL, LCL, a meniscus tear, and a dislocated kneecap is an incredibly steep climb for any professional athlete. Every movement and every sideline grab during these minicamp sessions is a testament to the work he has put in, yet everyone involved understands the necessity of patience as the team awaits his full clearance. It is truly Toro time, as the staff monitors his health, ensuring he avoids any setbacks before finally clearing the bridge to live game action. Understanding why this matters right now for the Texans requires looking beyond the optimism of his return. The reality is that the team's pass-catching room is significantly more crowded than it was when Tank Dell was last at full strength, which creates a competitive environment that complicates his immediate path to high-volume production. With Nico Collins and Jaden Higgins expected to command major reps as outside receivers, and Xavier Hutchinson coming off his most productive professional season in 2025, the competition for targets is fierce. Furthermore, the development of Jalen Noel in the slot and the continued reliability of tight end Dalton Schultz mean that the distribution of CJ Stroud's passes will be spread across a wide array of talented options. Even if Tank Dell manages to regain his pre-injury form, his usage could naturally be lower than what fans remember from his earlier days in the league. This depth is a testament to the current composition of the roster, but it also adds a layer of difficulty for a player trying to reintegrate after such a long layoff. Achieving a successful season for him now is not about matching his previous explosive totals immediately, but rather about consistency and durability. Staying on the field for the entirety of the 2026 campaign without any flare-ups is the primary metric for his success. If he can reclaim his chemistry with CJ Stroud and solidify himself as a viable target in the red zone, he will provide the offense with a valuable dimension. However, the depth of the current roster ensures that he will have to fight for every snap he earns, making his reintegration a process that will likely unfold gradually throughout the year. The history of the injury Tank Dell sustained makes his return to the field a remarkable narrative in itself. But the technical challenges of returning to his former level of explosiveness cannot be overlooked. The injury, which occurred nearly 2 years ago, was about as severe as one could imagine for a player of his position, requiring an extensive rehabilitation process just to regain the ability to run at an NFL tempo. The historical odds for players returning to their peak performance after a combined ACL, MCL, and LCL tear are notoriously slim, which is exactly why the medical and coaching staffs are prioritizing caution. He will likely require several weeks of in-game reps, live snaps, and physical contact during the regular season to find the same level of comfortability he possessed before he was sidelined. There remains the possibility that the explosive burst he was known for may take time to fully return, or may evolve into a different set of on-field abilities entirely. His work during these mini-camps is foundational, designed to slowly reintroduce his body to the rigors of professional football without risking further damage. Seeing him walk onto the field alongside his teammates is a positive development that speaks to his determination, yet it serves only as a starting point. The transition from sideline drills to high-intensity game situations is a massive leap, and the Texans are approaching this transition with a focus on long-term sustainability rather than immediate statistical output. The organization understands that a healthy Tank Dell is an asset, but a rushed return could have consequences that extend well beyond the current year, making this methodical approach the only logical path forward for his career. When assessing what a successful 2026 campaign actually looks like for Tank Dell, the focus shifts to moderate, sustainable goals, rather than chasing past performance. If he can stay healthy from start to finish, the team will consider that a significant achievement given the severity of the medical history he is working past. Finding around 50 targets across the season would be a productive target, allowing him to contribute to the passing game while reintegrating into the offense alongside Nico Collins, Jaden Higgins, and the rest of the receiving core. His value as a red zone threat, which was on full display during his rookie campaign, is something the coaching staff will likely look to utilize once they are confident in his movement and durability. Re-establishing the rhythm and timing with CJ Stroud will be the invisible, yet most important factor in his progression. This chemistry takes time to calibrate, especially when a player has been away from live action since December 2024. The expectation is not that he will walk back onto the field and instantly be the primary playmaker, but rather that he will act as a key piece of a deep and versatile group. The Texans' strategy for this season appears to be built on this collective depth, allowing them to integrate players back into the rotation without placing the entire burden of success on one individual. By keeping the expectations grounded, both the team and the player can focus on the incremental improvements that will eventually lead to him reaching his potential. Every snap he takes in training camp and throughout the season will be a building block toward that goal, turning his recovery into a long-term benefit for the entire Houston offense. The journey ahead for Tank Dell is defined by these small, consistent steps during the offseason, and the excitement surrounding his progress is balanced by a clear-eyed view of the challenges ahead. He is no longer the sole focus of the passing game, but rather one component of a deep rotation that includes rising talents like Jalen Noel and established threats like Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. This dynamic is a positive for the Texans, as it reduces the pressure on him to perform at an elite level immediately after his return. The focus remains on his health, his movement, and his comfort in the system as he moves toward the start of the 2026 season. Should he reach that point of being a full participant, the narrative will shift from his recovery to his integration. But even then, the need for caution will persist. The team has seen the flashes of his talent during limited minicamp work, and those moments are sufficient to keep the anticipation alive while maintaining the necessary level of patience. For now, the focus is on the next month of preparation, leading into training camp, where the intensity will ramp up, and he will face more rigorous tests of his knee's stability. It is a long process that requires disciplined patience from everyone involved, but the path is becoming clearer with every session he completes. As he continues to show progress, the goal remains the same, ensuring he is a long-term contributor to the Texans' offense, ready to provide that spark whenever he is fully cleared for action. His return is a process, not an event, and the organization is committed to seeing that process through in the right way for the team and for the player.